Let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer where we're unpacking a massive structural change happening right now in the data economy. Look, the AI industry is currently valued in the hundreds of billions of dollars. Hundreds of billions. Yet the actual human beings training those AI models, the folks literally feeding the machine its intelligence, they're often getting paid pennies per task. It's wild. Today, we're going to explore how new tech is stepping up to fix this massive disparity and completely redefine what your digital labor is actually worth in the age of AI.
We really need to challenge everything you know about gig work. For years, human intelligence has been the secret fuel for machine learning. But the humans, well, they've largely been treated as entirely disposable. I mean, what does this look like on the ground? It's people sitting at their laptops for hours, tagging whether a slightly blurry image has a crosswalk, translating tiny snippets of text, or rating chatbot responses just to make them sound more human. And once they hit submit, bam, their contribution is sucked up and the system literally forgets about them the very next day. But what if it didn't? What if the datasets built from your late-night labor weren't treated as disposable? What happens when human data actually gets the economic respect it deserves?
So, to really get the solution, we have to look at the mechanics of the problem. Historically, the easiest way for centralized tech giants to operate is through a highly transactional, totally dead-end cycle. It's basically digital day labor. You show up, do the work, get a single paycheck, and that's it. End of the line. Contribute, get paid once, move on. You are entirely cut off from whatever happens to your work next. Obviously, this model exists because it is completely frictionless for the companies absorbing the data. But it leaves creators, it leaves us, totally shut out of the future value of our own brainpower.
And the frustrating reality of that old system is this invisible compounding effect that really only benefits one side. While your involvement stops on a dime, the AI networks just keep reaping the rewards of your labor for years to come. Because those datasets you helped build, they don't just vanish. They keep generating immense value through ongoing training and real-world usage, way long after you've spent that one-time paycheck. Think about it. When a massive tech company sells some enterprise AI tool for millions of dollars, the foundational logic making that tool so smart is built directly on those one-off gig worker datasets. The value scales infinitely, but the creator's compensation is just frozen in time.
Which brings us to a fundamental pivot in the economic structure we're looking at today. It's the transition of hard work from a disposable, one-off gig into a permanent digital asset. We are talking about moving from get paid once to compounding royalties. To put this in perspective, imagine a musician. It's the difference between them selling the entire rights to a massive hit song for a flat $50 versus keeping the rights and earning a fraction of a cent every single time someone streams it on Spotify. It's a total reinvention of how digital value is captured, tracked, and paid out over the long haul.
This brings us directly to a proposed alternative from a platform called Codatta. They're actually attempting to completely restructure this broken cycle. Instead of just accepting that traditional one-and-done gig model, they're rewriting the rules of data ownership from the ground up. The core idea is pretty simple, but it's a real game changer. Ensure that the people who build the foundation of the AI economy, the everyday users labeling and generating data, actually have a mechanism to share in its long-term success. It's a fascinating look at how we might totally re-architect the relationship between human input and machine output.
Under this new model, the life cycle of your contribution completely expands. Instead of that three-step dead-end trap, we're looking at a continuous loop. You start by making a contribution, sure, but then that dataset becomes an on-chain asset. From there, you hold fractional shares. Basically, holding a fractional share means you own a mathematically verified slice of that specific data pie. As AI companies use that data out in the real world, those usage metrics trigger royalties, and those royalties lead directly to compounding value for the creator. It literally transforms a quick fleeting task into a continuous revenue stream.
Grounding this in the tech for a second really shows how abstract knowledge gets minted into a trackable asset that you actually own a piece of. This is where blockchain comes into play. And honestly, it's a vital piece of the puzzle here. A blockchain provides this immutable, totally transparent ledger. And why does that matter? Well, because it mathematically guarantees that you own verifiable shares of your specific work. It ensures that massive companies can't just secretly use your data behind closed doors without triggering smart contract royalties. It takes what used to be a flimsy promise of payment and makes it structurally and cryptographically bulletproof. Your data's footprint is permanent and public.
The result of this architecture is a completely different economic environment. Your knowledge doesn't just vanish into the void after a task is done, it becomes a growing digital asset, and its value is tied directly to its creation. But the really brilliant part?
It creates what economists call aligned incentives. When data creators actually own a stake in the AI's success, well, obviously they're financially incentivized to provide high-quality, super accurate data. Better data makes the AI smarter, right? And a smarter AI gets used way more often, which generates more royalties. It's a win-win. Human contributors and the AI networks are finally working towards the exact same goal. No more extraction, just mutual, compounding growth.
Now, for those of you interested in how this tech is actually playing out in the wild today, platforms like Codatta are opening up these environments right now at their app portal. It gives us a real-time look at how individuals are already stepping out of the disposable gig economy to test drive these new ownership models. What's super cool here is that it proves the industry doesn't have to wait around for some top-down regulatory change to happen. The tools to start building and tracking your own data assets, they're already being built and deployed right over at app.codatta.io.
We are witnessing a massive paradigm shift in how we value human input in a machine-driven world. We're moving from disposable digital gig work to the creation of compounding digital assets. The technology to protect your digital labor, track its real-world usage, and automatically pay out compounding royalties, it actually exists now. Which brings us to a crucial thought I want to leave you with. As our everyday interactions with digital platforms increasingly become the unpaid data labor that trains the next generation of AI, how are you going to approach your own digital footprint? Are you going to keep giving your data away for free, or are you finally ready to demand to own it?